Okay, so RV renovation, I don't even know what number it is. We're going to be doing a really cool RV trip down the Baja this summer, and so we wanted to add a couple little things. I want to say solar, but it's not solar. We're going to add some batteries, basically a battery bank with an inverter. Kind of like a back way of running an inverter without all the crazy wiring that I say crazy wiring, it seems like crazy wiring to me, but all the wiring that you have to do with the bypasses on your trailer's converter that it comes with. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to have a 3 battery bank in a diamond plate aluminum box that's going to get mounted in the front of the RV. We are going to use the maintenance-free lead-acid batteries. We'll have 3 of those, just the Walmart brand RV Marine Deep Cycle batteries. We did look into lithium, and it was a bit more than what we could afford. So with that being said, we're going to have 3 batteries. I got some kind of cool stuff. I'm just shooting off the hip. I did watch some videos also on a system like this. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to have the 3 batteries, a 2,000 watt inverter, and a couple cool little gadgets to go with that, a battery monitor, and we're going to have a plug for the trailer. So we're going to plug the trailer into the battery box itself. So it's not going to be necessarily wired into the trailer. It will be wired in the trailer's 12 volt system, but not the 120 volt wiring in from the inverter to the trailer. So dual purpose one, I think that it's something that I can do, less expensive. It's not necessarily the best way, but I've watched a few other University of YouTube videos, and folks have had it like this, and it's just worked awesome. And we'll be able to take it off and mount it to, we're planning on hopefully getting a little pop-up trailer for doing some really cool off-grid Mexico trips. So we'll be able to take that off the regular trailer, then mount it onto the little pop-up trailer. So the biggest thing with this is that when you're not wiring it into the trailer with the relay switches and bypass switches and all this other crazy stuff, you have to shut off your converter. So inside on your breaker box, and I'll show you when I go to do the install, is when you're going to use your inverter with your trailer plugged into it, you just switch off your converter so you're not doing the cycle of death. So you'll be taking 12 volt, making 120, putting it in a trailer, using it for specific needs. TV, microwave is pretty much all we're going to use it for, and then but you're not recycling back into the battery. So without further ado, let me show you what I got here. We have the battery box, and basically I just measured this and looked on Amazon and looked, and I finally found the measurement box that will fit in front of the trailer. So this can actually accommodate, man, I'm gonna say at the end of the day probably 4, maybe 5 batteries. We're gonna put 3 in for now. I just got a little rubber mat that goes down on the bottom, just getting all my stuff together. Over here we have, let me get out of that light here. Over here we have I'm gonna know if I'm pronouncing this right. Rhenology? Yeah, whatever. We've got the 2,000 watt. Let me show you this. We've got the 2,000 watt pure sine wave inverter. So this is a pure sine wave inverter. It's not the modified sine wave. This has the remote that will go inside the trailer for the on-off switch. So that's cool. Another feature that I liked about this and that you'll see is it has a hard wire port. So with that, the next item is the RV hookup. So this will be hardwired It'll be on this box on the inside, and then this is just a a weatherproof outlet cover to go on the outside. So we'll actually plug directly into this, and this will be directly hardwired into the inverter. Now, I'm going to have to look to see if I need to put a fuse in between here and the inverter. I haven't figured that part out yet. Same company, battery monitor. Now, I heard a lot of good stuff about this. It looks really nice. So this right here is the battery monitor. This is how it comes, and this will let us keep track of the batteries and where they're at. Because we're using lead acid batteries, we need to make sure that we don't discharge them too much, and you can set an alarm and everything else. So we'll be messing with that. That's the electrical stuff that we're gonna do. So yeah, let's get all this stuff together, and then we'll get to putting it together and getting it on the trailer. All right, let's do this. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure the box for the width of the battery. We put 3 batteries. So I measure the battery at 7 inches times 3, 21. And we'll just put a little space there. 21 is right here. So we're not even halfway through the box. Plus we'll do an inch. 1, 2, 3. So we'll do 24 inches. We'll do an inch in between each one. I mean, this is just rough, right? This is not what it's going to be exact, and I'm still a little farther away from over there. That way I kind of know where the inverter can go and have the space between the inverter and the batteries. So we're just going to say half the box right now as it sits. Half the box will do us well. Okay. Synology 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter. All right, let's see this bad boy right here. So this is pure sine wave inverter technology. Supposed to be better for your computers, iPads, whatever you got, the electronics. That's one of the reasons why I chose this 2000 watts. We were going to go initially with 3000 watts, but realized that pretty much 2000 is going to do everything we need to do. Microwave, television, maybe a hairdryer if Maria gets crazy one night and wants to do whatever. Anyways, but this one, let's get down, let's get a look at this here. Okay, so got the on-off switch, the hookups. It's got 3 110 standard outlets, but right here is hard wiring. So you've got your neutral, ground, and load. So we can hardwire in the trailer receptacle. So I just need to find out whether I need to put a fuse between this and the RV outlet. I think that there's probably a fuse inside this box, because you put right here and there's no outside fuses. So I am going to look that up, see if I need to do that. But that's easy peasy. It's literally just getting the fuse for that. So one of the main reasons, besides good company from what I understand, good reviews, pure sine wave technology, 2000 watts, and the hard wiring so I can do the RV hookup. So this is going to go inside, so we'll start with that and see. We're going to start with this and see exactly how we're going to mount it in here. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to mount it on its side like this. And I'm probably going to have to, it's looking like I'm going to have to get a board in here, like mount it on a piece of wood first. So we're almost all the way back where this sits right here, we're almost all the way back to that 3 battery mark. So I was definitely wrong. 3 batteries is probably going to be max. We might be able to squeeze 4 in here. We'll see though. We're going to start with 3 anyways. Okay, so let's start with that and get this mounted about where we want it and do some more measurements. So let me do that and then we'll come back. Okay, got the board cut, sprayed it with some kind of bed liner stuff, just aesthetics. And so now we're going to mount this to the board that fits into here, and then we'll mount it to the side. So we'll get that mounted, then I'll show you how I did it. Okay, so there we go. Hey, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to fit right about here. Just like that. Okay, so we got it mounted in. Let's see, just get a little look here. On the side. All right, continuing on with the box. There's obviously been a delay in this video, right? Because somebody got called into work for a nice 30-some hour shift. So where we're at so far in the box, I did do a bunch of work wiring in the RV, which is a complete nightmare. I don't know if anybody else out there has wired in an RV, has some suggestions, but I'll tell you, man, I tried wire pulling, following wires. Finally, I just figured it out, but man, there is no easy way to wire a trailer where you want your wires to be, unless you take down a bunch of stuff, which I'm not willing to do. So here's what we got so far. We've got the external hookup. We've got our wires going to go in here, and that's pretty much it. The box is empty right now, and let me show you the RV here. What we got going on here. All right, it's a complete disaster in this place. Okay, so I tried to initially put it up here, run the wires down behind there, and I wanted to put the controllers over here. Didn't work. Also, same thing over here where the controllers are there. Nightmare. Okay, so what I ended up doing was, if you could see, what I ended up doing was taking all the panels off and finding a spot to put these things. And so right here in the kitchen, the light's kind of terrible, but there is the on-off for the inverter, and then the battery control right there. So it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the Rumpelstiltskin to look at the battery condition, but I mean, it's open in a cabinet and everything's kind of mounted nice and clean, so that's what I wanted. So that goes behind there through the floor and then out to the battery box. Oh, sure. Yeah, I've got everything open in here. It was kicking my Rumpelstiltskin, to be honest with you. All right, and then here we've got, oh man, let me get out of the shadows. Okay, here we have wires coming out. We've got our other wires that we ran yesterday. So the box is going to fit right in here. Measured it all out, have it all set up. It's ready to just get hooked in and go. So that is the goal for today. Let's get this thing somewhat done. I still need to pick up a couple more batteries. I just haven't because I haven't. I'll pick them up today or whatever, but we'll get all this installed. So let's do it. Okay, we've got the inverter with our positive and negative cables hooked up. We have our trailer. It's 30 amp hookup, right? This inverter only runs 15 amps out of the hard wire, which is fine. We're just doing microwave and TV. So you can see here, got the black, which is the load or the live wire, green, G for green right there, or the neutral, excuse me, not neutral, but ground wire, and then the white and the neutral wire. Now, I left this like this so you could see. You just do a little hook in it, and this is an electrician buddy of mine showing me how to do this. Little hook, put the screw in, and we'll screw it in, and then that is, let me see if I can get here, connected to our box, which is wired onto the 30 amp connection there. This is in. Did all the measuring out and realized that I needed more cable. So I went down to Lowe's to get some electrical cable. Actually, I went to AutoZone first. They didn't have what I wanted. And then Lowe's had some cable. It really wasn't what I wanted. Some electrical wiring, and it was like $100. I was like, oh my gosh. So thinking outside the box, that's how you got to get a lot of stuff done. And that's how I get a lot of stuff done, to be honest with you. Thinking outside the box. So 4-gauge wire in the form of jumper cables. So it's essentially terminal wire, right? Jumper cables, Harbor Freight, 4-gauge, $29. Yeah, $29, and then some connectors from AutoZone, $15. So I think it's like 48 bucks, and I have more than enough wire. So let me show you what I did. The connector, put it there. I put some solder just to make sure that it's got a good connection there, and then I'm going to put that like that, some heat shrink, and we're done. And then we got the cables. So let's get these cables made, and then we'll get them installed, and I'll show you how they turned out. Another day, had to work. Now I'm off, and got the batteries in. So we got the box mounted, got the batteries in. Put one battery in, did a test run. Everything was awesome. Got the other 2 batteries. So let me show you where we're at right now. Okay, let me come around here. I think it's probably better. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 27 DC batteries. It has 800 MCA, which is marine cranking amps, which I looked that up because I had no idea what it was. I also looked up the battery voltage, 12 volt, and the amp hours, and this is lead acid battery. It's sealed, maintenance free lead acid battery, deep cycle. That's what the DC stands for. And the 27 DC has between 95 and 115 amp hours. Now, I wasn't able to really put it to a pinpoint, although EverStart says that this battery is 115 amp hours. Other batteries of the same 27 DC are 95, 105. So I'm going to set my battery controller at 100 amp hours each. So that gives us 300 amp hours, and at 50%, that'll give us 150 amp hours. 150 amp hours of usage, and that's what I'm going to set the alarm to inside. So here you can see this. So all we have to do now is connect this battery to this battery like this. These 3, those 3. Here's the shunt right there. I just placed some wood planks in between each battery, and then I'm going to order some battery terminal covers, rubber covers, to help prevent any kind of like bouncing. I might even put a little shim in here. I'm not sure. Work in progress, but overall pretty good. We have the 2000 watt inverter and hooked to one battery initially, and it worked fine. Everything came on. I did my test on it and said everything was fine. Now it's 15 amps, it's not 30 amps, but But you can see I've got it hardwired here, which is why I really like this particular brand. And I've got the remote hooked up. Right over here is the 30 amp RV connector. And so it's not 30 amp. It's right here on this side. It's not 30 amp, but it is 15 amp. And we're only going to run the microwave and the TV basically off of this little system here. So it's plenty. And yeah, so that's it. A lot of people are going to ask, well, how are you going to do the converter? So when you plug in your RV to shore power, your converter comes on. It's going to change the 120 to 12 volt to charge your batteries. So with this system, and this was not my idea, I got this off of the University of YouTube also. What I'm doing is I'm cutting out all the relays and the transfer switches and all that stuff, and just simple. I wanted more 12 volt power, which I got. I wanted some inverter power for, you know, short boondocking times. And so when I plug my trailer into here, I go inside and I flip off the breaker for the converter. So it's not making that loop of death, of energy death. So the converter's off, the power's just going to the trailer, 120 volt, 15 amp. All right, let's measure these up. I gotta measure these up for the jumpers and then get it all soldered in and put together. So let's get to doing that. Okay, done. All right, let me show you here. Here we go, inverter. There's the 3 batteries. All jump together, 12 volt system. Ah, man, this light is terrible. Sorry, guys. So 12 volt system, jump, jump, jump. Negative side, positive side. We've got everything together, everything zip tied. Hopefully this light isn't too awfully bad. What I'm doing right now is I got my charger on it, so I'm just going to make sure the batteries are topped up, fully charged, all 3 of them, and then I will set my battery monitor. Okay, as you can see, it's another day. I did finish up the inverter, battery, zip tie, got everything clean, everything running, did a real quick test run. Went perfect, except for, let me show you up here. This outlet up here runs the TV. The main reason why I put in this inverter system was to run the TV for the Nino and the microwave when we're just kicking it at Walmart, a boondock in between night. So, of course, how it goes with me. This outlet up here is the only one that's double wired to a breaker in this trailer. And it's double wired to the, yes, you guessed it, to the converter. The only thing I need to shut off with this system is the converter. So, if I didn't explain before, let me explain now. Right here, converter generator, breaker that's off. Extra breaker right here. Went in real easy peasy. Outlet for the TV. Done. Didn't have to mess with any of the other stuff. And just so you know, the trailer power is completely dead right now. I am not a fan of electricity. I do work on it. I do some stuff, but when it gets technical up into the 220, 240, 220, 240, single phase, double, all that crazy stuff, I call my buddy Roger, because Roger is an electrician and he's smart. So I do this little stuff, but just so you know, make sure all the power's off to the whole unit. So here's the extra breaker. It's on right here, 15 amp to the outlet, and then the other, just an empty breaker. I'm just shut it off. So I wanted to show you it was that easy. The panel, just cut out an extra thing on the bottom so it fits. So let's get this mounted. Let's get this mounted up, and then run the system and check to make sure. Let's give her a test run here. So, let's come out here. Let's go to our box. And there we go. Here's everything. I'm going to turn the inverter on to remote. I'm going to turn the battery switch on. Now I'm going to pull out the trailer power plug-in. Let's go over here. All right. Okay. So we're going to plug it into our outlet right here. Voila. Okay, got it plugged in, everything. So now let's go inside. Okay, now down to our cabinet. So this is where I put the controls, right under here. Battery monitor, right now we have 298 amp hours. We really only have 150 amp hours. I have a 300 amp hour system because these are lead acid batteries, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so right here, I'm gonna get closer. Okay, green, no warnings. There we go. Got power to the trailer. Now, microwave. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's interesting. Maybe it doesn't work. It does work. I must have been doing the timer. All right, so microwave. Working just fine. There we go. And reset. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. Now, this is the big one right here, the TV. So let's just see if it turns on. So there's the on off in. Oh, this usually helps. Well, the fan came on, so, and there's the TV. See the TV light right there. It worked! Okay. Well, as you can hear, the fan is plugged into that outlet up there. Oh, feels pretty good. So, our TV has a... Our TV has a, what do you call it, power strip, and I have the fan plugged in, so when the power came on, the fan would come on, and then the fan came on, so problem solved. And we don't have any converter action going on. I don't hear the converter down there. So there's the panel, all done. 12-volt power system. This video is pretty much done, so it's all ready to go, all ready to rock and roll. The only thing I have left to do is to put foam weather stripping around the top of the box. It was dusty, windy again. Man, this wind is killing me. It was windy again, and so it kicked a bunch of fine silt in there, which I'm not very happy about, but I'll fix it. Today's project, though, our next video's project. On to that.